Good afternoon, folks. Don't stop eating on my account. I know Steve won't. But I just want to get things started so we can respect people's times if they have to go. My name is Mark Krikorian. I'm Executive Director of the Center for Immigration Studies. And we've been doing the Katz Award here now for, I think, 14 years. I'm not sure. It seems like a long time. Actually, it doesn't seem that long, but it sounds like a long time. And we started this award in honor of Eugene Katz, who was the late Eugene Katz, was one of our board members, had been on both sides of journalism, the editorial side and the business side, and a family business, had been a reporter. His business was an ad sales business, and we really thought it was appropriate to name it after him, but it was appropriate to have an award like this because, frankly, so much of immigration reporting is just lousy. It's formulaic. It's kind of either it's transcribing press releases from either the government or activist groups, or just sort of predictable sob stories. And what we've tried to do with this award is highlight people who go beyond the predictable sob stories in the press releases. But I want to make sure that we move on to the sort of main part of the program, which is to honor Leo W. Banks, our 2011 recipient of the Eugene Katz Award for Excellence in the Coverage of Immigration. Leo's from New England, but has basically spent his whole professional life in Arizona. Got his master's in journalism at the University of Arizona, and has been writing from there ever since. He's worked for, from what he's said is that a job he had at Arizona Highways, which is a magazine, got him basically in every little corner and nook and cranny of the state. That's the kind of familiarity with someplace that leads to the kind of granular journalism that Nick referred to. Because a year ago or so, when Arizona passed SB 1070, everybody flocked there, from reporters from everywhere, to do their pro forma mandatory story on SB 1070. It was almost like the people following Anthony Weiner around now in the halls of Congress. Everybody's got to have something about it, so that's what they do. I mean, in a sense, what you ended up with in Arizona is somebody from a coastal newspaper or from a bureau of a foreign news service in New York or Washington. They fly in, get a quote from a Minuteman, get a quote from a protester, get a nice picture of the border, and then you're on the 8 o'clock flight back to civilization. That's not what Leo does at all. By actually having the kinds of relationships and maintaining them and doing this kind of reporting on an ongoing basis, he can find the stories that are there that other people just aren't finding. I mean, he can find the people who've been chased off their land, off their winter house, their snowbirds from somewhere else, and they couldn't stay there anymore because drug traffickers make the place too dangerous. One of his stories was really telling. He refers to a rancher has to go out and ride his fences constantly just to make sure nothing's cut so the cattle won't wander off. And he can't take a cell phone with him because if he's seen talking on a cell phone and there's a spotter somewhere else for a cartel, they might shoot him because they're worried about his, telling the law enforcement about their activities. This is the kind of thing you don't get when you fly in, get 3 quotes, a picture, and then you're out by the end of the day. In your booklets, you have some examples of Leo's work, mainly from the Tucson Weekly, which is kind of an improbable site. Maybe he can tell you a little bit more about that. But Tucson Weekly is one of these alternative papers where you go in the back and there's the personals ads for the, SWF looking for whatever it is. I mean, you get the point. This is not the kind of journalism outlet, media outlet you would expect to have this kind of serious, sustained, non-PC examination of a controversial, hot topic like this. Now, it's Tucson, so obviously it's sort of hard to avoid, but it's really kind of remarkable that he has that kind of long-form outlet, because if you see some of the stories, this is not 700 words tucked into page, A14 in a regular metropolitan newspaper. They really do seem to give him a good deal of leeway to write long, and that's, I think, benefits all of us. He's written for a lot of other outlets as well. He used to work at the Arizona Daily Star, which is the Tucson paper, has done freelance work for, I think maybe the first thing I saw of his was for National Review Online, just because I write for them, and it came to my attention. He's written for the Wall Street Journal and the Boston Globe, the LA Times, a whole bunch of places. He's almost, the Katz Award is almost sort of a kind of thing that's designed specifically for the kind of reporter Leo is. His work on this really does need more attention and more exposure, in my opinion, because he's actually done the legwork to get real stories instead of the formulaic pap that we see too often. So, Leo, if you could come on up. This is the tchotchke that goes with the award. So Leo, Center for Immigration Studies is honored to give you our Eugene Katz Award for excellence in the coverage of immigration.